Hey guys, welcome back to my April bench update. So, finished two models last week, and before that, we did have a mishap in the studio last night. I was putting a couple more of these display cases in here, and wasn't being rough, just maybe knocked it slightly, and I didn't realize the gap at the top on the back, and my 32nd scale Tornado GR1 in the camo there, which was sat on top, must have been perched a little bit on the edge, and I heard a bang, and it went down the back of the bookcase. So yeah, I think we're done. I don't think that one's coming back. So to get it out, I'd have to these are attached. I have to unattach the both at the top and the bottom. I'd have to attach the bookcases, move everything off, and move them out of the way to get the broken model from the back. At this point, we're done. It's going to live back behind there forever. So yeah, so we have the GR1 Tornado. Unfortunately, is resting at the bottom somewhere here behind the bookcase. So that's not ideal. But anyway, guess we create space for some other models. So thinking positively. So finished two models, and two models which have been kind of sat around, lost the mojo a little bit, working on them for whatever reason, and put them to the side, and came back in and just knocked those out. Like last week, all weekend I was just working on them and got them finished. Now the first one I finished was the Mig-25, and I think it's this one right here. Oh, you can't see it now because I moved the camera. So oh no, sorry, it's this one right here, Mig-25. I'm not gonna get it out because I don't want to damage it. So as always, I'll do a little clip of backyard in daylight, which actually make the models look better anyway in the light. And the ICM Kit 72nd scale, and lost the mojo with this one, and it was just really hard to put together. It was very complex. The fuselage, it was like so many parts, components to get to go together. It wasn't my best work. There's a couple of seam lines in there and other things. Painted Tamiya XF80, I believe it was, and yeah, it looked pretty plain. But once the floor models dark dirt wash and then the neat oils went on, it really kind of brought it to life and gave it some extra dimension, I think. Just got bored working on it, to be honest with you. And again, just getting over some of these issues, the fit issues, probably self-imposed, but it was a really tough kit to get together. So anyway, finished it off to an okay standard, and as you see, it's right there above me. And yeah, done. So it was a cheap kit. I was at a stage where, to be honest with you, I almost threw it away. I was kind of done sapping emoji. I want other projects I wanted to work on. But like I said, came back focused and just knocked it out and got that thing finished and crossed the line, which is the most important thing. So that one's finished. Then a couple of days later, I finished the Legacy Hornet, which is this one. Again, I'll do a little outdoor video thing to see it properly. But Kinetic Kit. Now, Kinetic Kit's always a little bit of a handful. Built, well, you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3 Kinetic Aggressor Hornets built, plus there's other ones I've built in the past and sold as well. And they've always been a little handful, but just they've always gone together okay in the end. But this one just caused me all kinds of problems at the front end. The canopy fit wasn't good. The front end wasn't. I mean, it just didn't go together well. Maybe use error on this one. I don't know, but for whatever reason, yeah, that's kind of beat that one submission a little bit. So a lot of sanding and filling. Working that one January. Again, it was just on the bookcase for about 6 weeks, 2 months. Picked it back up and just got it finished, across the line. Managed. In the end, it wasn't that much of much of work to do. Just need actually a little bit more sanding and filling at the front. And yeah, got it into paint and primer and paint, and good to go. So I used the Aeromask set, and I think, well, I did a quite good video on my Patreon for this, but then I didn't have any audio, and somehow I lost some of the footage, so that kind of got lost in the mix there. But use the Aeromask set, and I used, as always, Mr. Hobby lacquer paints, which are my go-to paints. I love those. Great color range, and with rapid thinner, they dry within pretty much minutes. And to be honest with you, I came in on, I think it was like a Saturday night, and I just knocked out the 3 colors of camouflage in one evening. Like I sprayed one color, let it dry for about 20 minutes, put the masks on, sprayed the next color about another 20 minutes, and then repeated, did the whole camo pattern, and then at the end of the night took it all off, and no problems at all. No paint was completely dry. So that rapid thinner is certainly a game changer, when it comes to lacquer paint. So rather than waiting like a day in between, like I said, in the space of an hour or two, I masked and painted the whole upper fuselage of that aircraft. So yeah, cool aircraft. Again, as always, I do like my aggressor markings or adversary. Um, the only one problem with this one was really, other than the fit, was the decals. Now, the decals that came in a kit, they used the right ones. I mean, it's really good markings in that boxing, but it was too close to light ghost gray color, so you can barely see them like on the lower surface. Now, if you hold it to light and kind of the light shines on it, you can make it out just, which maybe that's what it's like in real life. I don't know, but it just needs to be a touch lighter. I think a touch whiter. The decals, they're too close to the actual paint color. Unfortunately, that was a problem. What else? Other than that, yeah, it was okay. I mean, being an aggressor, it's not really no missiles or anything on it, so yeah, there we go. So they're my two finished ones, which is nice because they've been stuck. Like I said, they've been works in progress, which kind of stuttered and started, got them finished, and got the bench clear, and moved on. So have started a new project, and it is, as I drop the box, this guy, the 48th scale. Make sure it's not covering the microphone. 48th scale Prowler. I'll say Growler. Prowler. EA6B. And a couple of things with this one. It's going to be, because it's 4 seats and all the glass work and big cockpit, Quinta Studio set, which isn't cheap, and some resin seats, and really kind of go to town, making that cockpit tub look awesome. Now, big announcement. I'm doing this as a video build, going old school. Now, I said a year ago I wouldn't do any more, and I've had an influx recently of comments from people, like watching some of my older videos, and some really kind comments and how people are starting out and find it really useful and stuff. So it gave me some encouragement. You know what? It's been a year. Let me go ahead and just one more. So I'm not going to keep knocking them out every Friday like I did for 5 years. I think I did 28 build series in a row. But any interesting subjects such as this one, I think I will do a build series. Maybe I don't know, maybe one multi-part, one or two a year. So yeah, watch out for this one. It's coming up on Patreon next week. So if you want to join my Patreon, the link is below. And sometime later, it will follow my YouTube channel. And we'll go from there. Now, a few things with this one, with the build series. Going back old school, I did make videos a little bit shorter because the attention span on YouTube, that kind of thing. I'm making this one a bit more back to basics and going through some more detail on this one. So each video is probably going to be about 20-30 minutes long, and broken out into chunks. So the first one will be the cockpit tub, and I'm going to go through exactly everything from the Quinta Studios to painting, what tools I use. When we move on to other parts like the fuselage, I'm going to go through how I remove the seam lines, how I fill gaps. All the basic stuff will be included in the videos, and I'll be as always, each week will be a different subject. So again, you go from cockpit tub to ordnance to fuselage to painting to weathering. So if you're just interested in a certain part, it'd be a good reference to go back and look at. And again, a lot of newer people coming into the hobby, seeing the videos, and so I'm going back to basics. And although it isn't a basic kit by any means, and showing not only basic but advanced techniques as well of how I can get this one looking pretty awesome. I'm really happy with the Hawkeye up there. I did, it's off camera. That's one of the best models I ever did. That's Kinetic too. Not too much, big box, but not too much plastic. There's like, I don't know, like half a dozen sprues, and I think maybe about 11 parts in pages in the instructions. So not too much at all. Now, keen-eyed, those of you who follow my channel for a while, I did build one of these 6 years ago, maybe. Wasn't a build series, but I did feature it on my channel, and I missed the exhausts for some reason. I forgot to put them in. I built the fuselage, so I had no exhausts, and then when it came to decals, the crappy Kinetic decals just cracked all over. So it sat on the shelf of doom, actually in my closet for a while. I moved house, and I just threw it away. So now I'm having a second bite of cherry. So this time I will remember to put the exhaust in, hopefully. And I did get aftermarket decals. So I'm not going with this Playboy scheme. I'm actually going with the gauntlets, cool like markings with like a Blue Angels blue and red brown tail. Interesting, and then there's like some kind of animal thing on the front here. I'm not sure exactly what animal it is. Maybe it's a panther or a beaver or something. Who knows? So yeah, to pick this one up because it's actually the cheapest boxing I could find, and it came with a tractor as well, which I thought was kind of cool. So there we go. So this one is I think the decals on boxed were about mid-70s. The decals I'm going with in the scheme, like late 90s. So a little bit more modern of an aircraft. So instead of light gold, grays, and insignia white, it'll be the ghost grays, light and dark ghost gray, which is more for that kind of color. So there we go. So yeah, watch out. It's coming, new video build series. I know a lot of people reach out to me, send me messages and ask about it. So new one coming. And if you want to see it next few days, go to Patreon when the first part's released. If not, hang tight. Work its way to YouTube at some point later this spring or summer. And yeah, so that's what I've got working, what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna go like spend tons of time and energy and get this thing really weathered up and looking awesome. This Prowler, and again, spending a lot of time really filming and editing and hopefully creating some good content that people want to watch. Okay, what else? What I've purchased now. Some old friends are coming back, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a couple of Tamiya kits. First of all, we'll go through some sundries here. As you know, my hand painting, I like to use Vallejo Model Air for my metallics, and they actually paint really well, hand paint. Now, the gold and the brass are terrible on Model Air. They're like too watery. They're not usable, so pretty much get thrown away. So I'm a big fan of Game Color. Now, it's still Vallejo, but the Game Color paints have way better pigment count than the Model Air. Model Color. The Model Color, like the old school Vallejo hand paints, have tons of them. Obviously, don't get rid of them, but I just find whenever I get colors, I always get Game Color now. It has a better pigment, it just brushes better. So I thought, you know what, let me pick up a Game Color bronze and gold, because they're the two colors that really suck in the Model Air range. So I got the glorious gold and just put a little bit on the lid there, and it looks absolutely fantastic. And the brass looks good too, but I noticed on the bottle here it's under Game Color Metallic. Like Vallejo have so many color ranges and stuff, it gets a little complicated. But you see, this is Game Color and this is Game Color Metallic, so I didn't realize that. So it definitely looks a little bit here it looks very dull in the bottle, but it's very shiny on top. But just handy colors, brass, for like armor, for like shells, that kind of thing, and gold. I mean, just useful colors. So replace the old crappy Model Air with these guys. All right, haven't received it yet, but I will periodically. I go to Two Bobs. They have nice decals. They design them and cartograph print them, and they have some interesting schemes. As always, I say, if you see decals you like, buy them, because they're always short run, and a couple of years later you can never find them again, or paying 30, 40 ridiculous amounts of money to buy decals. So I went on Two Bobs about a week ago, and I glancing through, and they got latest release, which is a really nice Cajun aggressor. And if I remember, I put a picture up, and I saw it. I thought, this is right down my alley. Splinter camo, which I love, and it's just really nice, interesting scheme. Now, I'm not a big F-16 guy. You see, mostly like Navy is my kind of genre right now. But I thought, I want to do that. So I picked up another one of these. Now, this was my last build video on the channel a year ago, as we just talked about. And I built this in the deserty kind of colors. So built tons of these F-16s. And so I bought another one. Aggressor Boxing is a good one, because, well, not even building Aggressor, but it has both the big and small mouth intake in there, and both engines. So out of this box you can build any version pretty much of an F-16. So I'll be building that one, the markings I just mentioned. And yeah, I say I've built a ton of these, but never have I really been happy with how it turned out. There's always been something with an Tamiya F-16 where I don't know whether it's the paintwork or just the assembly or something along the way where it's not gone to plan, and I've not been 100% happy with it. And I've always sold these on eBay whenever I built them. And they always sell pretty easily too. So this time I thought, what, let's give it another go. Built this so many times now, and hopefully this might be the time where I can put it together and nice scheme and be happy with the finished product. Now I've got the Tamiya F-16 32nd scale right there off camera, and that turned out amazingly well. I loved how that looked out, but look how that looks. But the 48th one, I've always struggled to get like one I'm happy with and then result. So give it another go, and hopefully with these new markings, eye-catching markings, it's going to look pretty awesome. So I've got the kit. Now, I did order a seamless intake off some guy in China about a week ago. It still hasn't shipped. It's like $10, so we'll see. It'd be nice if I do get a seamless intake. We have pretty good reviews, so hopefully it will ship out at some point. I'm in no big rush of building this, but I did get some aftermarket. As you know, I do like my Quinta Studios, but this time I got the Edward Space Set. Now, this is a block 25. I'm building a block 30, but a couple of switches here and there would be different. For me, it'd be fine. I can't hand paint it, this cockpit. It'll just look a dog's breakfast, whereas this, it's going to look a lot better. Space Set. Now, this is like their Quinta Studios kind of version. Now, I will say, just off the bat, it doesn't look as good as Quinta Studios. I've tried all these now. I've done Red Fox. Now I've seen Space. I've done Quinta Studios. I think I've done Kitworks as well. I will say that hands down, Quinta Studios is definitely the highest quality, best looking out there. Red Fox second. Definitely Red Fox is good, but definitely not as good as Quinta. And this is probably maybe on a par with Red Fox, or maybe a little bit behind. But still, way better than I can paint. And it was reasonably priced, so I picked that up. All right, next up, I saw these ejection seats from the place I was buying this kit from online, from Minicraft, and it looked really good. They did the some Tomcat ones, and they did the F-16 seat. So I thought, you know, it was about, I think it was like $6.99 maybe. So I picked it up. So it looked really, it's 3D printed, looked really good on the picture. So I ordered it, and it came like this, and it's like a little silver box, which is very fancy packaging. And if you open a box up, you basically have the seat in there. So again, very fancy, maybe overkill packaging. And there's your seat in the 3D printed. They left the obviously that one for protection so it doesn't break. But well, you can see it on this camera. Put my hand behind it. It's hard for me to see. I can't see the camera lens, but it's good. It feels very light compared to like the old school resin, like molded. This is obviously 3D printed. The detail looks really good. Maybe it doesn't look quite as good as on the picture online. It looked pretty amazing online. Here it looks, you know, looks good, rather than fantastic. Again, you can't see it, right? So yeah, so there we go. So that's what we got for this project. So we got the, you know, let's see the instructions here. That's interesting. Okay, so you got a bunch of assembly parts to do as well. Okay. I was thinking those color callouts, but there aren't. All right, so this is designed for the F-16, the seat. So bought the seat. So where was I? I lost my train of thought. So seat, cockpit set, and a seamless intake, plus the decals. And that will make up my F-16. So for some reason I can't close the box. What is this? There we go. All right, so that's the F-16. Seen it tons of times, nothing fancy or nothing new. Then, if you're on my Facebook page, you know I got inkling to build an F-14B. So I've had a couple of rough kits with fitting issues and stuff, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to the best modern fighter jet kit out there, and that's Tamiya's F-14. Falls together, absolutely beautiful kit, and every single person I know who's built this, including myself, you can't stay away from the bench. Like, if your mojo's down, you start building this, like, you want to come, like, late at night, in the evenings, you just want to come here and work on this F-14. It's just amazing kit. If you haven't bought one already, everything like modern jets, you should have one in your stash. So picked up the D. Now I've had that before, as you know. I've sold it because I bought the AMK one. Now I still have the AMK one. If anybody wants interested, I'll sell you the AMK kit, because I'm not. For me, I stick to the Tamiya one. It's just a beautiful build. So bought the 16D, and I have the late A in my stash already. And obviously I built a ton of the AIM versions, but I never ever built an F-14B. So that's going to change. So the B, basically, the easiest way I can understand for doing it is to go use the late A kit and add the 16. Sorry, again. the late A kit had the 14D exhaust nozzles, and that pretty much gets you to a B, kind of. So I bought some Jolly Roger markings because I've never ever done Jolly Roger's aircraft before, believe it or not. And I've never done a B before in any scale. So I'm going to build a Tamiya F14B, and I put a little poll up on my, little post up on my Facebook group. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. If I'm going to do it on the catapult, or I'm going to do it in flight with the wings swept back. Now, the problem with the late A kit with Tamiya, you don't have the option of the wings. The wings are out, and that's it. You can't fold them back. So with the D, I can switch the wings. They're interchangeable. So if I want to do my B, I know it's getting confusing here. The B I want to build, if I want to do it in flight with the wings back, I can just take the wings from this boxing and put the other extended wings in this box for a later day. So that's kind of confusing, but yeah, hope you get it. So basically from a late A and a D, between the two boxes, you can get a B. All right. So I don't really show much in this one. Again, I think I did a review of this one years ago. And I did a comparison too between this and the MK one. I mean, that was a cringe-worthy video from about 7 years ago. So yeah, there we go. The only problem with Tamiya kit, with a lot of these Tomcat markings, you can see here, have like painted around, they have colors like around the spine, around the cockpit tub, either black or blue, depending what the squadron is. And typically I want to mask and paint that. Tamiya give you decals for it, which is fine, but Tamiya decals are kind of thick, and I don't want to, try to get it conform around all these curves and stuff. I just want to mask and paint it. Problem being is they don't give you the pilot names or whatever in a separate decal. They're all added to this main one big giant decal. So you can't really paint it. You have to use a decal. So aftermarket decals are probably a way to go with this. But yeah, so there we go. That's a D. And as I mentioned a minute ago, to get the late A to a B, you need the exhaust. So I bought myself the Brazen exhaust for a D. So these will just slot onto that late A to make my B. Again, it's just crazy, right? Alphabet soup. Looking very nice here. Typical, Edouard Brazen resin, and you get some photo etch fan blades as well. So yeah, so I bought that. I was trying to do a cheeky thing. I did reach out to Tamiya USA, because Tamiya USA actually really good parts department. Gary over there, if you're watching, shout out to you. And it's really cheap to get parts too. You just tell them what sprue you want. It's in the instructions, and usually a couple of bucks and plus a little bit of shipping, and they send it to you. So I thought, you know what, let's be cheeky and see if I can get the sprue with the exhaust in plastic from Tamiya and the wings, which I want. And so I reached out to him, and both of them aren't available, which I guess, I'm not the only one. So a lot of people building Bs are probably getting these parts sourced from Tamiya as spare parts. So that's, in the end, didn't have it, so I spent $20 and bought the very nice Brazen, Edouard Brazen exhaust nozzles. All right, then put an order in Andy's hobby headquarters. Now, there'll be a video going up, if I haven't put up already, about the display case behind me. Every single day, I at least get one person ask me about this. And you see, these are trumpeter cases, and these Andy hobby headquarters cases with the doors on the front here. And it's these, I've talked about it before, these guys right here, $15 each, which I think is a steal, and they fit absolutely perfectly in a Billy bookcase, especially if you had a couple more extra shelves. You fit 8 in a row, and I really like how it looks behind me. And if you notice, I kind of move them around a little bit between videos as well, so you get different things in the background. So, bought 3 more of these, and so I'm creating another whole another row here below, and fill this bookcase up with display cases, which is awesome. It keeps the dust off, keeps them protected, and they're really good size. As you can see, you fit a 48 scale Legacy or Super Hornet in there, semi-second scale kits easily. Easily a 48 Warbird, some 32nd Warbirds, depends. I'm going to fit the 109 fits in, but the Corsair doesn't fit in. It just depends. But so yeah, I'm going to actually. So I built one, filmed it as a special. I have a special technique of building it, and talk about what I've used, because again, so many people ask me, and I have a quick little 5-minute video coming up, maybe next week or whenever. So the reason I bought those was that I picked up this little guy. And this is from Andy Hobby Headquarters. He's the only one in the US right now who has this in stock. Now, there's been a few boxings with Mini Art Thunderbolt, but these are the markings that really caught my attention with those colors. As soon as I saw the picture, I was like, yeah, I don't want to buy that. I want to build it. And this is the advanced set, so it has the engine detail, has a weapon, the gun bay there. Looks fantastic. So again, this is going out as a review of my channel. It depends on timing. I think it might go out just a couple of days before this video. You watch this video right here. And the big call out here is maybe the future of modeling. Let's open a box here. And I'm opening a box to get this out. And these are 3D printed parts from none other than Plasmo, the modeling god on YouTube. David over there is a very smart and very gifted guy, huge amount of talent. And what he started to do is smartly, he builds these kits to amazing standard, and he can do CAD, he can do 3D printing. So he started doing these video builds on his channel, and he's adding detail. And the detail he's adding, he's designing on the 3D printer, and he's selling as an aftermarket. So for €10, I bought basically, without emptying this whole box out, if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but behind the engine, he's basically designed all kinds of other stuff behind it. So you can cut the fuselage and like another whole, like, I don't know, maybe like 3/4 an inch worth of pipe work and ducts and all that kind of stuff that goes behind the main engine to get in the kit. So I bought that file, downloaded it, printed it on my resin printer, and there's tons of pipes and stuff. I mean, I'll show you a few parts here. And I showed this on the video. Like, this is one part he designed. It goes near the bulkhead. And then, there's, right here, I've got my hand, I got a pipe. And, I mean, there's about 20, 30 parts in here. Now, in resin cost, it was probably pennies. It wouldn't even be $1 worth of resin to print this out. All these parts, all these, different pipes and stuff. And I just think, personally, that's where modeling is going to go. I just think plastic models aren't going to go away. I mean, 3D printing's come in, but I think 3D printing is really going to help enhance this hobby. Because if you're like me, we have your printer at home, you can buy the kits. Exactly what I did. Go online, download aftermarket, print it for $10, and then you can add it to your kit. And I think that's just a brilliant way. And I think there'll be way more of it in the future. I think the next couple of years, you'll see more of that. So rather than, go online, buy resin parts, wait a week for it to ship, to arrive at the house, I can instantly download a file, print it, and I have aftermarket for my kit. And I think what he's done there is brilliant, because he's built his 750,000 subscriber base, and now he's spinning it off and designing aftermarket, which you can sell basically on CG Trader. So there we go. So yeah, I think a few things. So yeah, I think that's just really interesting what he's done there, and I definitely, as I mentioned, definitely think that's the future of the hobby of 3D printing aftermarket at home to add to your plastic model kits. So there we go. Thank you, as always. A couple of reminders and shout outs. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps my channel out as I get close to 10,000 subscribers. Who known, like a few years ago, I'd hit almost 10,000. It blew my mind. So really big goal of mine to hit 10,000, and I'll do a special giveaway when that does happen. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button, because most people watch these videos aren't subscribers. And don't forget, within the next month or so, my new build series for the Prowler will be up on YouTube, and I look forward to your feedback and your comments. So have a great rest of the spring or summer, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.